Well, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Take Motovlog on the 701 again today. I was out filming the How I Wheelie All My Dual Sports video and decided to do a Take Motovlog since it's such a beautiful day. I don't know what that hawk's up to. I'm gonna try to come take the camera off my helmet, maybe. That was cool. So, not too long ago, Ryan F9 from FortNine put out a video talking about how the armor that we have in our motorcycle coats and pants today, which is the sort of hard rubberish plastic stuff in the knees, the elbows, on your shoulders, and on your back, and even on the hips here, are essentially useless in a moderate to high speed crash, or as far as at least the impacts that they are taking or are supposed to take. Basically, from their research, and I would highly suggest you guys take a look at the video because they've got way better information on this than I do, and that's really not the point of this video. But essentially what they said is they put out a sort of standard that was pretty low. They set a really low standard for what was required to be considered armor in a motorcycle jacket. And essentially what he said is that it's so low that it's almost, to him anyways, not even worth wearing, because it's not going to provide as much of protection as you should really have on a bike. And I understand what he's saying, that maybe it's not the most comfortable. I mean, I've definitely had some pieces of gear where I definitely kind of feel the armor in there, and it is annoying. But as somebody that has crashed a bike kind of a lot, mostly off-road, but a couple times on the road, and if you guys remember when I was on the way to pick up my Tenere 700 a couple years back, I actually got hit by a minivan that sort of cut in front of me and didn't see me, and I did everything I could to avoid it, but it still crashed into me, threw me off of the bike, bent the swing arm over about 6 inches, and I mean, I was only doing 35 to begin with. At the time that the vehicle actually hit me, I had slowed to, I mean, a pretty slow pace, and so did the van that hit me, but it doesn't take much to need armor, to need a helmet, and that's why I still don't understand those people that say, I don't wear a helmet because if I crash on a motorcycle, I'm a goner anyways. And at 75 miles an hour on the highway, if you get ran over by a semi, yeah, I mean, okay, I get where you're coming from, but the thing is, I'm not on the highway at 75 most of the time. I'm doing this, riding around at somewhere between 25 miles an hour and 45 miles an hour. That's just where I'm the happiest on any of my motorcycles, really. And that's why I'm wearing a helmet, because even if I just tip over doing 20 miles an hour, I mean, that is more than enough of an impact on your brain cells that it's going to cause you, I mean, potentially some serious and, maybe even life-threatening injuries. So maybe the helmet's not going to help you when you're doing 75, but for every other time, and the majority, I think, of crashes are probably at slow speeds, and mine definitely have been. The very first time that I crashed a bike, I was just cornering onto some chip seal, which is essentially what we're on right now, but it looks like pavement, especially at night. I was on a sport bike, and back then I was smart enough to wear a helmet, but not smart enough to wear somewhat of an arm protection. I just literally had a t-shirt on, which now I, of course, look back on and really shake my head at. But I didn't know any better at the time, because you see so many people out without the proper gear on, and just a thin motocross jersey, if absolutely nothing else, would have definitely helped me. I mean, I don't know how fast I was going when I took the corner, but I'm not saying a big corner. I mean, I was just making a 90-degree turn from a regularly paved road onto the chip seal, probably only doing 10 or 15, and that was more than enough to permanently scar my arm even 10 years later now. Was it 10 years? I don't know how long it was. It was a while ago now. I think I was probably, how old am I? Oh yeah, no, it was 10 years ago. I'm old. So after that, I mean, it really kind of opened up my eyes that having just a little bit of protection on your hands, having a little bit of protection on your arms is definitely a good thing. But I mean, now anytime I go out, I mean, you guys pretty much see me every time I ride, I am always wearing my full MSR gear. And I think a lot of people, I know I've gotten crap for it, that say, oh, you know, he's just wearing that stuff because it's a sponsor and he's probably out squidding it up when he's off camera. No, I'm barely ever riding a bike off camera anymore. And while yes, of course, it would help me out if you purchase gear through my affiliate links, it's really one of the biggest chunks of income that I get from this channel, and it's one of the main reasons that I'm able to do this. I definitely appreciate that, but I am not doing this for show. I'm doing this because I am honestly kind of terrified to ride around people now, especially after being ran into. And I mean, it all just kind of opened my eyes to the fact that you never know when you're going to crash. The time most recently that I've gone down, I was just doing wheelies in front of my house on the TW, and I did not have my pads or my padded armored motorcycle pants on. I just had regular jeans, and after I went down and skinned my knee all up, I was nursing an injury, and it was bothering me while I was riding for the next month. So what is the point of having gear and not going out and wearing it? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. You should always have the right gear for the type of weather that you're riding in, and if you don't, you should really invest in it, because if you're like me and you like getting out and riding motorcycles and you want to continue to do so, you need the proper gear to make sure that not if you go down, but when you go down, because it's gonna happen. The more you ride, the greater the chance of having some sort of incident. Hopefully it's a small one, but I mean, even if it is, you need some protection in there. And yes, maybe Ryan's right. Maybe the protection that they give you isn't absolutely as good as it could be, but it is certainly better than nothing. And that's why I have been, especially since that last TW spill, making sure that I wear all the gear that I have every time that I go out. And I really think that that is the right answer. And I would definitely recommend you guys considering the fact that you never know what's going to happen when you go on a bike. And while maybe it might make the ride a little bit less uncomfortable, it's sure going to make a crash and the aftermath of a crash much, much more comfortable. And I definitely think it's worth it. So hopefully you guys do too. Hopefully you got something out of this. Thanks for joining me on this One Take Motovlog. Thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Stay swanky. Get out and enjoy this beautiful world God created. And make sure you're wearing your gear so you can get out and do it again and again and again. We'll see you next time.